When you think of dramatic bridges, it's easy to jump to the famous ones like the Golden Gate, the George Washington, or the Sydney Harbor Bridge. But I challenge you to find a more dramatic and accessible bridge than the Crooked River in Oregon. If you're on Highway 97 in the high desert of Oregon, it looks a lot like this. Flat, a lot of sagebrush. Sure, you got the Cascade Mountains on one side and Smith Rocks on the other, but the highway itself is pretty flat and pretty straight. Until you're just a few miles outside of Terrebonne, and then all of a sudden, boom, a 300-foot deep canyon. And this is not a normal gorge. We're talking about sheer walls at 90-degree angles. The ground literally just drops out from underneath you. 130 years ago, the pioneers of this area had to ford the river about 1.5 miles upstream of this site. My great-grandmother told a story about first coming to this area in a Model T and having to pick their way down the trail into the canyon. You can still see this trail today on Google Earth, and it checks out. It looks terrifying. In 1911, the gorge was first spanned by the Oregon Trunk Railway. This 110-plus-year-old bridge still carries heavy rail traffic to this day. Almost 20 years after the railroad bridge was built, the highway system got its crossing. Designed by legendary Oregon bridge designer Conde B. McCulloch. He's known for all the elegant bridges on the Oregon coast. You can see some of his signature style in this bridge here. Specifically, the symmetry of the truss, the detailing in the guardrail, and my favorite detail, the entrance columns. This was the tallest bridge in the state for many decades, at 330 feet above the water. It kept its title as tallest bridge in Oregon all the way to the 1960s when the Thomas Creek Bridge was built on the coast. But by the 1990s, this two-lane structure was proven inadequate for the traffic on Highway 97, and so a replacement span was built immediately upstream. These three bridges are a must-see stop in Central Oregon. All three are excellent examples of steel deck arch construction, where the load of the bridge is transferred horizontally into the canyon walls. The bridge area also includes an amazing park and green space area, perfect stop for your next road trip.